I love the Pirates of the Caribbean films. It is an adventure that never gets old, and this franchise holds up fabulously well to this day. The cinematography and choreography are done brilliantly. The setting is amazingly immersive, and the CGI is much better than a lot of the materials we get today. Yes, with that being said, the franchise has its highs and lows, but even so, they are still such captivating films. So, I looked back at the movies to give y'all an abbreviated plot breakdown as well as my opinion. Pirates of the Caribbean: The Curse of the Black Pearl, 2003. Blacksmith Will Turner teams up with eccentric pirate Captain Jack Sparrow to save Turner's love, Elizabeth Swan, from cursed pirates led by Jack's mutinous former first mate, Hector Barbossa. Jack wants revenge after Barbossa left him stranded on an island before stealing his ship, the Black Pearl, along with 881 gold pieces of the cursed treasure of Cortez. Barbossa and the crew of the Black Pearl are searching for the 882nd and final piece of the gold to be able to free themselves from their curse of the undead. They found the last piece with Elizabeth, and that is why they also take her, as they believe she can break the curse with her blood, as she misled them to believe she was surnamed Turner in order to protect Will. It seems that Will's father was the one to set him adrift a decade ago with the medallion, thus leading to him being subsequently rescued by the Royal Navy, where he meets Elizabeth. Jack and Will commandeer a ship and head to gather a crew and retrieve the Pearl and Miss Swan. They bring aboard Jack's old crewmate Joshua Gibbs, along with a ragtag swashbuckling crew of goobers. They find Barbossa and the Black Pearl crew, as well as lead the Royal British Navy to the same location, and a battle ensues. Jack duels Hector, while the Navy, as well as Will and Elizabeth, engage the undead crew of the Pearl. Sparrow beats Barbossa when he shoots him through the heart, at the same moment that Will returns the cursed piece of gold, along with his blood, to the chest. The rest of the Pearl's crew are no longer cursed and are arrested. The Navy also arrests Jack and is ready to hang him for piracy, but thanks to Will and Elizabeth, Jack slips away, dives into the sea, and escapes aboard the nearby Pearl, reclaiming the ship and his new crew. Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Man's Chest, 2006. Lord Cutler Beckett of the East India Trading Company arrests Will and Elizabeth for aiding Jack in the previous film. Beckett offers clemency if Turner agrees to search for Sparrow's compass in a bid to find the Dead Man's Chest, which contains Davy Jones's heart, giving Beckett control of the seas. However, Jack wants the chest to escape from an unpaid debt with Jones, who made Jack captain of the Black Pearl for 13 years in exchange for 100 years of service aboard Jones's ship, the Flying Dutchman. Locating the Dutchman, Will makes a deal with Jack to find the key to the chest in return for Jack's compass, but is then tricked into joining Jones's crew in Sparrow's place. Will meets his father aboard the Dutchman and learns that Jones possesses the key to the chest. He manages to get that key and escape the Dutchman, while Sparrow acquires a new crew with Elizabeth coming on board. Every party involved, including Turner, Norrington, and Sparrow, have arrived on the island that contains the chest, and a fight breaks out. The battle culminates with the legendary Kraken attacking the Pearl, and as everything crumbles around them, Sparrow shoots at a gunpowder barrel that ignites other ones and hurts the Kraken. Elizabeth realizes that the Kraken is after Jack, so she tricks and chains him to the mast, and as the crew escape, Sparrow is swallowed by the Kraken with the Black Pearl. Norrington brings the heart to Beckett and regains his position, while Cutler gains control of Davy Jones and the Dutchman. We end with the Pearl's crew sheltering with the priestess Tia Dalma, as they all agree to rescue Jack. We are then introduced to the captain who'll guide them, the resurrected Barbossa. Pirates of the Caribbean: At World's End, 2007. Beckett is now aiming to extinguish piracy forever. Meanwhile, the crew of the Black Pearl sets out to rescue Sparrow from Davy Jones's locker to stand against Cutler and convene the 9 pirate lords. As one of the 9, Jack is needed in order to release the ancient goddess Calypso. Later, the crew finds out that the one to stab Jones's heart will replace him as the captain of the Dutchman. Right as the Pearl drops anchor, they are attacked by one of the 9, Sao Fang, along with Beckett's men. Elizabeth is handed over to Fang as Jack negotiates his freedom with Beckett, while the rest of the crew head to Shipwreck Cove aboard the Pearl. In captivity, Elizabeth learns that Jones was the one who betrayed Calypso, and the First Brethren Court bound her in human form. A sudden attack by Jones fatally wounds Fang, and he appoints Elizabeth as his successor. She and the crew are then locked inside the Dutchman, where she finds Will's father, Bill, losing himself to the ship's curse. Norrington arrives and frees Elizabeth and her crew, but is killed by Bill. The 9 pirate lords convene, and we find out that Tia Dalma is the goddess, who is then freed by Barbossa. Calypso learns that Jones betrayed her, so she summons a storm and vanishes, refusing to help either side. The Pearl and Dutchman battle in the ensuing tempest. Elizabeth and Will are wed by Barbossa amid the battle, while on the Dutchman, Jack and Jones duel for control of the heart. Jones manages to stab Will, so Jack helps Will stab the heart, killing Jones. The Dutchman sinks, and Beckett's ship, the Endeavour, engages the Pearl, but then the Dutchman rises again, captained by Will. They wreck the Endeavour and defeat Beckett. Will is now bound to guide souls lost at sea to the next world, so he and Elizabeth say their goodbyes. He departs, leaving Elizabeth pregnant and with the chest to his heart. Now, seeing as Barbossa ends up stealing the Pearl again, Jack departs from Tortuga on a small boat to track down the Fountain of Youth and go on the next adventure. Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides, 2011. It has been over a decade after the events of the previous film, and Jack Sparrow is still on the quest to locate the Fountain of Youth. He crosses paths with a former lover, Angelica, who tricks Jack aboard Queen Anne's Revenge, captained by the infamous pirate Blackbeard, Angelica's father, who is also looking for the fountain. Barbossa joins the hunt as well on behalf of King George II, after losing the Pearl as well as his leg, and is now in a race against the Spanish. Angelica tells Jack that the fountain ritual requires a mermaid's tear and 2 chalices, with both getting water from the fountain, but only 1 chalice will contain the tear. The individual who drinks the water with the tear gets all the years of life from the other who drank the cup without the tear. Blackbeard and his crew capture a mermaid named Serena, and the captive missionary on board, Philip, falls for her. Blackbeard weaponizes the affection they have to attain the tear, and then Serena is left to die. He then tells Sparrow to get the chalices that are in the possession of the Spaniards. Barbossa tells Jack exactly why he lost everything before they attacked the Spaniards, and that Blackbeard was the one to blame. Sparrow succeeds, and Blackbeard gets the chalices in exchange for Jack's compass, which Jack sends Gibbs off with. All parties locate the Fountain of Youth, leading to a battle, in which Barbossa stabs Blackbeard with a poisoned sword, but Angelica gets also cut by mistake. In the chaos, an injured Philip frees Serena, who brings the chalices to Jack. Sparrow fills them and tricks Blackbeard into drinking the chalice without the tear. Angelica is healed, while Blackbeard dies. In the end, Barbossa claims Blackbeard's ship and crew and returns to piracy, while Sparrow meets Gibbs, who used Jack's compass to locate and retrieve the Pearl. Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales, 2017. A group of supernatural Spanish soldiers led by Jack Sparrow's old nemesis, Captain Armando Salazar, escape their prison and aim to kill every pirate at sea, including Jack. To survive, Sparrow seeks out the Trident of Poseidon, a powerful artifact whose owner can control the seas and break curses. As it happens, the son of Will Turner, Henry, accompanies Jack to retrieve the trident to break Will's curse. They meet a clever astronomer named Karina Smith, who, with the help of her unknown father's diary, assists them in the search. Meanwhile, Barbossa learns that the revived Salazar has killed several pirates at sea and is destroying his fleet. As Salazar locates and attacks Jack and the crew, they manage to escape, and Sparrow and Barbossa unite again. They continue the quest, and Barbossa takes command of the Pearl once more. During the journey, Sparrow and Barbossa realize Karina is the latter's long-lost daughter. They find the island and disembark. Jack, Barbossa, and Karina use the island's magic to part the ocean, opening a path directly towards the ocean floor and the trident. Salazar acquires the trident by possessing Henry, but the moment he releases him, Jack distracts Salazar and Henry destroys the trident, breaking all curses upon the sea. With the trident broken, the sea begins to close in on them. The Pearl lowers its anchor to lift the group, but Salazar pursues them. Barbosa lets go, sacrificing himself, and kills Salazar to allow the others to escape. In the end, Henry and Karina reach home, where Will appears, free from the curse. His wife, Elizabeth Swan, appears moments later, and the Turner family reunites. Henry and Karina kiss, and Jack watches from the Pearl before sailing away into the horizon. Captain once again, while also adopting Captain Barbossa's monkey, Jack. Overall, I love the adventure that the films take us on. Pirates of the Caribbean does it so well. From the excellent writing and fantastic acting to the impeccable CGI and scenery, this film franchise will take you away on a high seas adventure unlike any other. All I hope for these movies is that if future films do come out, that it will be done with the spirit of romanticism and exploration within them as the ones before it did. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for spending your time with me. Until our next adventure, y'all stay classy.